So, did this North Indian Bollywood fan like RRR at all? Or did I really love it? Or did I hate it? Because I'm an out and out Bollywood fan. And I'm seeing all these toxic debates, not even discussions, the hateful comments that people post. Like North Indians are fighting South Indians, and South Indians, like Tamil people fighting Telugu people, KGF versus RRR versus Brahmastra versus whatever, everything is going on right now. As a North Indian who barely watches South Indian films because, to be frankly, they release in Delhi in Hindi dub, and I hate watching films when they are dubbed in any language. Even when I'm watching a German film or a French film, I watch those in original language, not in English dub, because the voice acting in these films, in the dubbed films, is terrible. Even though I did watch, I showed my wife RRR when I watched it for the second time. It was with my wife. I watched it on Netflix in Hindi because Netflix had far superior video quality than Z5 did. But then it was a great experience because apparently Ram Charan and NTR Jr. have dubbed that film in Hindi themselves. So voice acting was not an issue at all. This is probably my first Telugu film, or maybe not. I have watched Bahubali 2, but I'm not really a big Bahubali 2 fan, to be very honest. I have not bothered to watch Bahubali 1. But this is my first Telugu film that I really want to talk about. I'm bothering about this film because I like it, or because I am offended by the fact that so many people from India and from the West, especially America, are like really loving it. Does this thing bother me because I think it's a terrible film, it's overrated, or am I getting overjoyed by the appreciation that RRR is getting across the world? Which one of these is true? For me, a North Indian who typically watches Bollywood films and Hollywood films, who barely watches any Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, or films from South India, what is my verdict on it? One word, split into two words: mind blown. Unlike in America, I come from more context. I have seen Indian films which mix different genres. You know, there is in a single movie there is action, there's romance, there is comedy, and then there is some more genres mixed, and then there are songs in action film. For Americans, that's something very new. For us, it's very common. But even then, even coming from this background, having grown up on Bollywood of the 90s, of the 80s, of the earlier times, of the current times, I cannot stop watching and rewatching RRR. Not just some specific scenes. You know, usually it happens when we really like a movie. We open it on our laptops, on our phones, and we fast forward it to specific sections that we like. But RRR is like a joy ride from start to finish, from the very first minute to the 183rd, 185th minute. Every single time you think this is the greatest action scene you have watched, 5 minutes later another action scene comes up and it tops that action scene, and then another comes up and then that tops the other one, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the film, you're wondering which one is your favorite action scene, or which one is your favorite moment from the film. Is it Ram Charan's entry, or is it when Ram Charan comes into the avatar of Lord Ram? Is it Bhim fighting that tiger, showing his strength against that giant animal? Or, of course, probably the best moment of the film, Bhim jumping out the truck with his army of animals, which is not exactly his army. The movie is not showing this fictional thing that they are in his service, that they're subservients to Bhim. They see Bhim as food. They are ready to eat him, but because he's carrying those two mashals, he manages to shoo them away. One tiger even jumps on it. One leopard jumps over Bhim, and there's another super awesome scene when he just throws it and chucks it over British guy, never seen before. So you don't know that rescue scene when Ram and Bhim meet for the first time. You don't know if you ask anybody which action scene in RRR is their favorite. I don't know. It's not going to be one a clear winner. That's how amazing this film is. It's filled with dozens of action scenes, big set pieces, and you're just wondering. And it's not a Fast and Furious kind of a film. It's not soulless. It has a soul. It has emotions. It has drama, and you feel for the drama. That particular moment when Bheem realizes that this girl Alia Bhatt, she is the fiance of Raju, of Ram, the guy who he almost killed because he thought that he had betrayed him. But he realizes that no, he is in it for an even bigger cause. That particular scene is orgasmic when Alia Bhatt stands up and she looks at NTR in surprise, like how does he know my guy, and NTR is like, what just happened? Why did I do what I did with him? And then there is this whole rescue scene, him getting on top of him, and there are too many spoilers, I guess. So if you are a Bollywood fan who has not watched RRR for any reason, I would just recommend this film strongly. Just do not let your biases rob you of this incredible experience. This might turn out to be one of the greatest films you have seen, at least in the last 10 years. Even if it's not as overwhelming to you as it is for someone who comes from a different culture, but it's totally worthwhile.